Hey everybody, welcome to a speed build video. So I've actually had this video almost done for a while. I was just kind of trying to get the spoons to record a voiceover for it. But this is going to be the future home of Wren and Lila in my Star Sign Legacy series. Wren is the Taurus gen, and they are non-binary, and they are a chef. They went to university and got a degree in culinary arts, and currently they live in Ciudad Enamorada, which is a lovely place. I did choose the rather big lot for building this, and I had a build that I had like an inspiration photo. I don't know if I will be putting the inspiration photo up here or not, but it took me a bit to sort of figure out how to make the outside of it work, just because The Sims likes to be really finicky about certain things. So right now you can see I'm kind of working with that. Trying some new things with my speed builds because I felt personally like the way that I was doing them left me a bit motion sick. I was speeding it up way too quickly, and I figured if I felt motion sick just looking at my own video, then others probably feel the same. So I'm really making an attempt to change how I approach these speed build videos in the future, and most of you voted that you wanted both music and a voiceover, so I'm doing the thing. I'm doing it. This is a pretty long speed build though. It did take me a couple of days to do it, and the entire lot isn't going to be filled out just yet. The house ended up being a lot more expensive than I anticipated, and I still ended up making some adjustments even after I stopped recording, so the house in-game might even look a little different than what it looks like in here, but it's still mostly the same. So the outside of the house is mostly finished at this point. I mean, at least the main shell of it is, and it looks like I am figuring out the plants and situation and stuff. While I've got you here, just a bit of an update. I'm not going to say anything about it in my comment in like my YouTube community post or anything, but it is something that may affect uploads for a few weeks. On Thursday night, I injured myself pretty badly to the point where like I'm probably not going to be streaming for a couple of weeks because the amount of games I can play really are limited right now. I cut my hand really badly while preparing dinner, and I had to go to the ER and get stitches and all that fun stuff. So I am very kind of like, I can't play Final Fantasy XIV for a few weeks. And if you are on my stream, you know I play that with my friends like every Friday. And it is one of my most loved games that I play, so that's definitely a bummer, but I need to make sure that my hand heals properly. What happened there was I was cutting an avocado, and I was holding the avocado in my left hand and trying to stab the pit out with my right hand, and the knife went through the pit and into my hand, and it was a lot. Thankfully, there's no nerve damage, and I'm able to move my fingers just fine. It was very clean cut, and I was just able to get a few stitches, and so yeah, now I've got a stitched up hand, and in order to help it heal properly, I've basically taped my middle two fingers together to make sure that stitch in between those two fingers stays stable while I'm healing. I will get my stitches out in the coming week, but I'm still gonna need to be kind of careful. It should not affect my ability to record and play The Sims, since most of that is done with the mouse and the injury is on my left hand. But I figured it might be okay to, you know, give a heads up for that. So I'm really proud of that fence that I made. It actually does act as a fence instead of being just completely debug, which makes me really happy because debug fences, I love them, but they're kind of a pain in the butt. Right now it looks like I'm working on the layout of the top floor, and I had to finagle a few things for sure. I'm still not even sure. Like, I think I know how I want this to go. I think there's the master bedroom and then the master bathroom right there inside of it. And then the room next to that is for one of the kids. The intent is to have 4 kids this generation. I want an older child, and then I want the middle children to be the Gemini twins. And then I want a younger child as well. So we're gonna have quite a few kids this generation. I'm here for it. And yeah, and if you've watched the most recent episode, you'll know that the older child is on the way. So right now there's not really any reason to move from the apartment that we have, but there will be when there are twins on the way. And you know, they've realized that like a top floor apartment isn't exactly the best environment for a child, though I'm sure, you know, I'm just kind of trying to think of some lore or something, because like obviously people have families and growing families on top floor apartments all the time. I live in a top floor apartment, but I think, you know, at some point they're just gonna have to outgrow the apartment and move. And that's when they will move to this house. The other reason why they would need to move is I plan on Wren to build a small business venue on this lot. And that's why there's a lot of space, because we're going to need to fit in a small business venue for Wren. And we're also going to need to have the house and probably a lot of children's items, because there are going to be 4 kids in this house eventually. So my plan would be like, there's 4 bedrooms upstairs. So one's the master, 2 of them are going to be kids' rooms for single kids, and then the larger rectangular room is going to be for the Gemini twins, and they're going to share a room. I'm going to try as much as I can to make them absolutely identical. I mean, I might even need to use MC Command Center for that. Looks like I'm working on the kitchen and dining area. I wanted to make a nice kitchen for Wren, because both Wren and Lila are in the culinary careers, and Wren is more into baking and Lila is more into mixology. So between the 2 of them, they've got pretty much everything covered. As someone who was trained in baking and pastry chef and French techniques and stuff, you know, you're gonna need to know a little bit about cooking as well in order to make a lot of the baked goods, because it's not just, you know, all sweet things. You've got savory things too. So we're gonna do a small business bakery on the lot, and that will be really fun. I'm hoping I can get it to as high of a star rating as I possibly can before moving on to Gemini. And we will be going to college again with Gemini. We'll be going to university, and they will actually be on campus for that. So that'll be interesting. And we have to live in a few different worlds for Gemini Gen, which is going to be interesting as well. So yeah, I'm really not sure how I'm gonna fill all this, my yapping. I guess I'm still kind of working with the kitchen because I was really unhappy with it. it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do for the kitchen because, well, I didn't want to go overboard on the orange, and I wanted to sort of maintain the whole hacienda vibe because Ciudad Enamorada is a very Spanish locale, and I figure Wren really likes the Latin cuisine there. I do end up changing those windows, by the way, so don't worry, those windows will not remain. They're just... I figured out other window combinations that worked a lot better, so that will be a change that will be made. And we're still on like the first day of me trying to figure out this place, so we've got changes and stuff coming up in the second day as well. I'll probably just pause in speaking until I find something else to talk about. So, you know, just vibe with the music until then. Yeah, we had to make sure the stand mixer stayed. In hindsight, I probably could have just let Wren bring his stand mixer, or their stand mixer. And we're probably gonna do that, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good idea to just have it there. I like to have like hanging lights over the bar, but I was having a really hard time finding ones that I liked. I wanted to put this somewhere, but it didn't fit very well. I think I do maybe end up finding a place for it before the end, but I don't remember. It's been like a week or two since I actually recorded this. Yeah, and here we go, me trying to figure out the accent wall here. I left it in because it's kind of satisfying to see like the whole, okay, I'm gonna put this wallpaper here, but no, that doesn't work, so I'll put this here. It's just kind of satisfying for me, so I figured it might be satisfying for y'all to see. Orange really is kind of a hard color to balance in this game, especially. So I wanted to, you know, make sure there was definitely a powerful orange presence because that is the generational color, but I didn't want it to be like super one note. I wanted other colors to sort of come in and complement it as well. I've always been that way with like my builds. Like, yeah, there's gonna be an overwhelming amount of the generational color, but I do try to balance it as much as I can and make it look good. And not just, you know, you're not just stepping into a house and going, oh my god, why is there so much orange? You might still be saying that, but you're gonna find that it's actually pretty well balanced. You see what I mean by this being like super satisfying though? Because, you know, just kind of, there's one accent wall, there's another another slide of just wallpaper, there's another slide of wood or brick or something. It just, I don't know, it felt really satisfying for me to watch, so I figured it might be satisfying for you guys as well. Okay, I did decide on an accent wall. Just gonna go with the brick. I'm quite happy with that decision. So now I'm just looking for something to be at the edge of the bed, like an ottoman or something like that. A little bench, if you will. going through the colors, the color swatches and everything on here when it's sped up looks really, really satisfying as well. So I kept a lot of that in. Okay, now we're back down and we're going to be focusing on the living room. And it is a very large living room, but considering we are planning on having a fairly large family, it made sense to have a large living room. So just trying to figure out the rug situation here. And I think shortly after this, I stopped for the day because I was just kind of getting a little overwhelmed. It's a lot. It's a big project. Okay, so yeah, here's the second day, and you can see that I did change the windows, and I like these so much better. So I started back where I left off with the living room. Wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do here. I did have chimneys. I wanted them to be active chimneys, so eventually I do get like a fireplace in here, but it takes me a bit to sort of figure out where I want it to go. Sort of did a built-in cabinet situation here for the television or for like the entertainment area. I don't really use these shelves, this modular shelf setup from Dream Home Decorator that often. So I was just playing around with that. And I think I'm quite happy with how it looks. I do end up making these shelves green later because the green really goes well with the orange. And we do have like the dark green with the Cozy Kitsch Kit furniture that I love to use as well. And I mean, obviously I had to use Cozy Kitsch for the furniture because it's just so good. It's so good. I love that kit so much. I'm a little sad that I am sticking to my guns and not buying anything from EA for the time being. Probably never buying anything from EA ever again if the sale goes through and we, you know, the Sims team doesn't find a new place to go. But because like the recent kits do look really good, but I am fortunate that I am a PC player and do in fact enjoy modding my game, so I will survive. I've got plenty of options. Everything I have in my game that, you know, that I've purchased is pretty good. I can use them all. I could probably, like, I don't even really need to download Build by CC that often. Like, there's a few things that I feel like we need more of, but other than those things, like, I'm pretty content with what I've got. But the new, you know, the creator kits, they look really good. And I feel really bad for the creators who, you know, that whole thing started years, like at least a year before it came out. And we didn't know anything about what was going on at that time. So I feel really bad for them because, yeah, they've already gotten paid and I can take some comfort in that, but it is definitely affecting the sale of something they worked very hard on. And I feel bad for that. I feel bad about that whole thing. And it's not anything they did. They didn't do anything wrong. It was just their kits happened to come out at a really bad time. Just in general. Okay, yeah. So I need to stop talking about that because that's just kind of depressing. Some news on the Elnia front. I know some of you already know, but I have started an Elnia Kingdom series on my channel, and I have been very much enjoying it. I was recording it from my Switch, which the setup for that is doable, but not exactly great. So my brother for Christmas got me the PC version, and since I haven't gotten too far with Finley, I decided to just replay everything, get her into the same kingdom state, because there's like 8 kingdom states, I think, with that game. So your character can be dropped into one of those 8 kingdom states, and they'll have like different village, you know, different townies, a different king, and all that fun stuff. So I did that. I got her into her old kingdom state. I got her to be friends with the same people she was friends with, and then some. There's some pretty important updates that I need to update you guys on as far as that goes, but I will wait until I record again for that. It might be a little longer because of the way my hand is right now, but yeah, we got some exciting new developments in that game. But yeah, back to this. I am fiddling with the kitchen at long last, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And now we're back in the living room and just choosing a base wallpaper for everything. I didn't want it to be super orange because there's just so much orange on the floor and in the furniture. So I definitely wanted to be a bit less overwhelming on that. Though when it comes to Wren and Lila's room and their bathroom, I'm going all out on the orange because it's Wren's color. And that just makes more sense. I've also noticed I've been getting stuck in the southern dialect again, and I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I sure do. Recently I was streaming with friends, and apparently someone was like, the dialect is a bit thicker than I remember. Yeah, man. I get stuck in dialects sometimes. Let me know if you get stuck in certain dialects sometimes. I did actually grow up in, a lot of people will probably just scoff at this and say, well, that's not the South, but I grew up in Central Florida, which is basically the South, Southern USA, because the lower you go in the state of Florida, the more you go into Cuba. So it's like the lower parts of Florida are Cuba. And then Central Florida is like Texan South. So Ocala was kind of in that area. And so I do have a bit of an accent from that, but I'm really good at not having it most often. And sometimes I'll be watching YouTubers that have a very strong southern accent, and I will get stuck in that dialect for days, and it's just I hate it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not me. All right, we're back in the bedroom. When I build, I tend to jump around a lot, and it's not always like it definitely makes it harder for me to speed up the footage because I'm not like super organized with my building. I just jump around a lot, and that's an ADHD thing, I'm fairly certain. Because I'm just like, oh, I forgot, here's an item that needs to go over here. So I'm gonna go put that right there before I forget, and then I focus on whatever room that went into, and then I forget, oh right, I was doing something else. So I'm doing more decorating of the master bedroom here. I'm still kind of unsure if I want to keep these curtains over here because they don't fit really great, but I figure I'll just keep them there for now. I'm getting some art over here. I figure we're probably actually above the bed going to have a lot of family photos. I think that's a good place to have the family photos. We've had them in Wren's inventory for a really long time, and it's we haven't really put them up in the apartment because I didn't really intend for the apartment to be the forever home. And of course I had to get the barley plant holder because it looks like Barley. It's so cute. I'm gonna miss Barley when he leaves us, but we've got some time before then, thankfully. Oh, another update on the last time I recorded for Star Sign. So at the end I was having some mod conflict issues with it resulted in Lila being unable to tell Wren that she was pregnant, and I was crashing out pretty hard about that, and I spent pretty much the entire rest of the day plus the day after trying to figure out what the issue was. And I think I know, possibly I have a couple of ideas, but as I was doing like the method of eliminating suspects that might be causing it, I didn't really for sure figure out what was going on. But the childbirth mod did have an update, and one of the issues that were fixed was like a last exception that happened only when you're using RPO and you don't have the miscarriage module installed, which definitely was me. I don't have the miscarriage module installed. If I am playing something that I'm going to be releasing to the public, I know and I am well aware that miscarriage is an unfortunate and tragic part of life, but I know a lot of people are triggered by that sort of thing, and I don't particularly enjoy having that part of it in my game. So I just decide not to do the whole miscarriage thing. I know that Panda Sama's childbirth mod also has that now, that option now for like miscarriage and birth emergencies, and I'm okay with like birth emergencies and stuff, but I don't really want my Sims dying in childbirth. I think if I were gonna have that happen, I would probably do it with like the Ultimate Decades Challenge, which I don't foresee myself doing anytime in the future. I love the Decades Challenge. I love the idea of it, but I have too much going on right now to be able to add another series like that, especially one that is very intense to my roster. Okay, I'm just yapping. I'm really awkward about this, so I'm really sorry about me being awkward. But yeah, I'm working on the backyard now. I wanted them to have a pool, and I wanted them to have a diving board. I'm so happy we got the diving board and the slide with Adventure Awaits. I love those items so much, and I mean, if I'm gonna make a nice fancy house like this, of course I'm gonna be including a swimming pool. Not just any swimming pool, but a curved swimming pool. I didn't put a hot tub in there because I anticipate that there will be midlife crises, and I'm waiting for either Lila or Wren to have a midlife crisis and want a hot tub, so that, you know, they're not gonna get that sort of desire, and then I already have a hot tub. So there's that. I had to add the little pizza floaty. It's so cute. And obviously we are here for the food theme. I did need to make sure I have a bar because Lila is a mixologist. I do end up deleting that fireplace though. I wanted to make it work so badly, but I just couldn't. It wasn't working. And for Lila's master mixologist aspiration, we have to have 2 bar stools, and I wasn't sure if we were going to need to do that part of the aspiration before moving here. So I decided to just have some bar stools. If I need to, I can sell them. I may actually sell them, but we'll see. I just want her to be able to get past that part of her aspiration. But yeah, we have a nice little entertainment space because we do need to have dinner parties with our family at least every other week, and so I wanted a nice little entertainment space so that we could have those. Oh, I love the little flip-flop lights. I don't use them very often, but when I do, it makes me happy. So now it looks like I am looking to do some landscaping, and I gotta tell y'all, I am not a landscaper. I'm so bad at it. I know some people are really good at landscaping, and I absolutely envy those people because I'm not good at it. I mean, I can fill up these flower beds, but I'm never really happy with them. I feel like maybe I should be sticking to other plants, or maybe I should not mix certain plants together. Do these even look good together? And whenever I think the happiest I am while landscaping is when I have like certain areas designated for the landscaping, like these flower beds in front of the house and stuff. So that's something, definitely something. I think I did okay here, but I'm never super happy with my landscaping. I don't feel like I do a good job with it. But it is something that I will have to work on. Here we have this upper balcony. This upper balcony isn't usable. We can make it usable if we want to, but it's not right now. It's just kind of a decorative balcony, and I just have a whole bunch of plants up there because we gotta have something up there. It's just kind of for decoration outside the kids' bedrooms. Because one window is leading into the twins' bedroom, and then the other window leads into one of their siblings' bedrooms. I'm not sure which one right now. I do know the birth gender of the child that is on the way, and I have a name chosen. I'm very excited because it's our first baby of the third gen, and it's always such a big moment whenever you welcome the first of a new generation into the legacy. It's just, it's crazy. I love it. Oh, okay, we're back in Wren and Lila's master bedroom, doing some more decorating here. Trying to find something that goes well over there. It can be really difficult sometimes, you know? I'm glad that I went with the orange tree though, because I feel like they would grow their own oranges and their own fruits. I do foresee possibly them having a small greenhouse or a small garden so that they can have fresh produce for their culinary endeavors and their baked goods. So I put a bit of a built-in little storage area here, and I really love the Grange mudroom set. I'm kind of happy that it's one of my final purchases from EA. Like if I had to make a last purchase, I think Grange mudroom and the Adventure Awaits expansion pack was probably the best I could have done there, because Adventure Awaits has been so much fun, and I love the build buy from it, and I love the cast from it. So we're back in the kitchen. We're just cluttering things up here. Oh, so we didn't actually end up using that Home Chef Hustle shelving, hanging shelving. We just ended up using the nectar, which is fine. I mean, I figured we'd have something like that, and it covers the window quite nicely. Doing some alt placing of the clutters. I used the Jungle Adventure shelving, and I'm really happy with how it looks over there. Oh, and I did put like the plants, the overhead plant, hanging plant thing over the table. I think it looks really nice there. I mean, I can imagine it would be frustrating if if it were a real plant and the leaves were like falling into your food, but I like to think it's probably a fake plant. Thankfully, dogs don't seem to be interested in things that hang like that. Well, they might be. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. I'm not really a dog parent. I'm a cat parent, so I know how cats generally work, but not so much dogs. I can imagine they like to get into all sorts of stuff, though. So we're actually almost finished with the speed build, which is impressive for me because I can never imagine myself yapping for that much time. But I'm really happy with how this house came out, and I'm excited for Lila and Wren to move in at some point and start their new lives together. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this as well, and I guess we will see how things go in the future of the Star Sign Legacy. And with that, I'll go ahead and leave you with the music for the rest of the time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every bit of time you've spent with me. Please like and subscribe to keep up with uploads to this series and other series that I have, and I'll see you next time.